Welcome everybody to another incredible video. This one's going to be about LATTC, Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and their fashion design program. I'm pumped up. I'm excited. I'm really proud of all the work the professors have been doing, the students have been doing, my classmates. I'm talking about it like I'm the principal, but I'm really proud of everybody. There's been a lot of work that has been really just great, and I feel like everyone's hitting their stride. Everyone's kind of in that part of the program where they're hitting their stride and they're bringing out their best, and it's only going to get better, and it's only going to get harder in other ways. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and about the fashion design and the fashion tech program. Whoa, bro, this looks like Avatar. It's a crazy look. That reminds me of Avatar for some reason. Last Airbender, not the blue people. Fashion design. So, fashion design program is 2 years, and it's a day program. We call it the day program because it's Monday through Friday, and then if you take other classes on the side, then that's going to be your weekend gone. So, I don't mean that in a scary way. I just mean that as the truth. So your first semester's really foundational, honestly. Clothing construction probably being the most important thing ever, because if you can't put it together, then what's the use? You're gonna learn how to make clothes, like how stuff is put together. You learn how to make a pocket, how to make different seams, how fabric goes together. You're gonna learn how to install zippers. All of these skills that just are super important. Even if you just take that class and you leave, you're still gonna have incredible skills that you're going to be able to apply to your own designs or to other patterns or whatever. But then you take basic fashion art and design. That's like the sketching, how to make flats, how to do croquis, like proper fashion sketching, then 9 heads, these crazy beautiful sketches that might not be super commonplace depending on where you go, but are still important because you want to show people what your designs would even look like. If your sketch is really bad and it looks like it was done on a little table napkin, then people can be like, okay, I get it, but I don't get it. I'm not going to give you my money. I'm not going to invest. So you want to have, the skills to make your stuff look pro. And I feel like this is what this school really gives you in spades. It's incredible. The people that are teaching here have worked at different companies in different scenarios, costuming, doing different things, working for different companies or brands, different industries, different practices. So every professor, even if you just ask them questions, they're going to know different things depending on their background, depending on what they did. Because fashion is a bigger world than just working for Supreme or a skate brand or something. There's people that work in women's wear. There's people that are tailors. There's people that work specifically on denim or shoes or tailoring, different things. So yeah, a lot to learn from everybody. If you come here and you're attending, you ask questions, you're polite and you're respectful, to other people and to your teacher, and then people will treat you with respect, and people will know that you're genuinely interested and you want to learn and you want to push yourself. That's the kind of mentality that you want to have going into it. History of costume, you're going to learn how dress has changed over, the course of history, the things people wear, where that comes from. Learn a little bit about history also in the process. The teacher that teaches this class is incredible. She also teaches a clothing construction class. Going into this program fresh, not knowing anything, is probably one of the best situations that you can be in. And I remember someone asked me that, and I didn't want to scare them off. But when you go into these classes without knowing anything, it's going to be hard. But honestly, it's going to be like that for honestly everybody. Even if you have sewn a couple things before, or you've learned from your grandma or someone else, There's a chance that even in doing that, you're going to bring along bad habits, because chances are you weren't sewing on an industrial machine. You didn't know how to set up an industrial machine. You only sewed up on a little home machine, on a little Singer heavy duty. Working like how Kentucky Boy Tyler used to do back in the day. And some of the people that were on the come up, making their own clothes. But now that you're expected to sew on like an industrial machine, this big, chooky, single needle lock stitch, or some of the other variations that they have there, some of these other machines, it's gonna be a lot that's expected of you. So going in fresh, not a bad thing. You're gonna pick up really good habits, whereas bringing bad habits and trying to unlearn them. So there's kind of a fortunate position for either scenario. Pattern making, basic pattern making design. It's kind of more like learning how to modify blocks, how to make certain changes to designs. But this is also super foundational. You're going to learn a lot of things like squaring, truing up, your lines, making sure that that they actually go together, that they walk, that things could actually be sewn together, and then it's not going to be like lopsided or uneven, unbalanced, different things. You're going to learn incredible skills. If I was to kind of grade them on importance, I'd probably, go clothing construction and pattern making / draping, because people it's a mix. Once you kind of get to that level, it's a mix. It could be a mix of draping and pattern making. And then textiles. Textiles is like, if it was a top 3, it'd be clothing construction, patterning and draping, and then textiles. And with those 3, you're an absolute monster. Because if you have a basic sketch, but you have all the foundational stuff to back it up, you can get a basic sketch and kind of have an understanding of where to go. But if you only have the sketch and then no idea of how it's made, then you're going to be in the weeds. So yeah, after textiles, which you're going to learn a lot about fabric and how fabric is made and so many other things. There's even a textiles B also. Really good foundational. I mean, these are required courses for a reason, but there's so many other classes aside from these that are also very important. Draping and design. So you're making a pattern, like a style, like a certain dress or something, but you're learning how to drape fabric onto a dress form, which is sort of like a mannequin, but not exactly. They come in different sizes, and it's more useful, I would say, for women's wear. But there's also other cases where if you want to do something that's kind of in between women's wear and men's wear, or you want to do fabric manipulation, or it's just another way of kind of creating designs, pretty much. I haven't taken the class yet, but I know it's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be really important. So yeah, then you have advanced patterns. I just took this class. I didn't feel confident about taking it, honestly. I feel like I'm not going to pass it, or I did not pass it. But I learned a lot of stuff, and I don't mind having to take it again. It's a lot of work. I don't mind having to take it again because I know that it's foundational. I know that it's important. Like, I should really be able to walk away having known these things like by heart. Like, I should feel it, in my soul, that like I know, if I'm doing a garment that has no sleeveless, that the armhole should have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Certain details, certain things you want to just really carry with you, and get hammered into your brain, into your noggin. That way, when you get out into the world and you're working for someone, or you're working for yourself, that you can back up what you're saying. You can back up yourself. Have that confidence in the knowledge and the fact that you know what you're doing. You're not just fucking around. You're really trying to make some shit, make some cool stuff wherever you go. So draping, advanced patterns. It's gonna get into like lining, jackets, complex things. The sewing is gonna get harder. So between there and between basic patterns and advanced, you want to do as much sewing as you can. You really want to practice zippers, practice welt pockets, certain things, even if that means just buying a pattern and trying to sew that up, or asking a teacher for a pattern that they have laying around that you could practice with. A lot of people will try to help you out in whatever way they can. So, but you gotta ask. So, yeah, you gotta ask. You gotta be proactive about it. It's really important. That way, you come out, strong. And what you get out of it is what you put into it. That's what I would say. Another important thing. Coordinated sportswear. So that's kind of like, I think it's like you're making kind of like sets, different things like that. It's like a bit more involved than advanced patterns, but I think you're still making like styles and stuff. I'm not super informed on it, but if you want to learn about any of these other classes that are kind of coming up, like advanced design or manufacturing production, you should definitely talk to our school counselor. If you look up fashion counselor, LA Trade Tech or LATTC, you'll be able to find it. Her name is Angie, and she has an incredible wealth of knowledge. There's also stuff that you can read. If you go to like the student portal or whatever to enroll in classes, you can read some of the descriptions there, or you can also read some other ones. There's a whole thing here too, which I don't have to read it. Like I can show you. You guys will get it. Manufacturing production. This is like the final boss for the fashion design program. Shout out Jacob. Saw that little thumbnail. So yeah, this is an example, gold thimble. This is the theme category. So this is a 16-week class. Usually the classes are 8 weeks at a time. So 8 weeks. If you're fashion design, it'll be 8 weeks, Monday through Friday, 7 to 11:30. Chances are you're gonna stay at school for like at least a couple more hours after that. Maybe more at home, 4 hours at home. So it's a lot of time, and it's a big dedication. This is like it's a 2-year program if you're doing the fashion design. The technology might be the same. I'm not sure, but it's probably going to be longer because it's a bit more extended. But the manufacturing production class is pretty much like this. They give you 16 weeks. Obviously, you get a break, in between, but you're expected sometimes to make a complete look in like a week, or sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on what it is. And the look might involve, one garment, or it might involve three different pieces. So it looks super intimidating looking at this now. This is the theme category, so there's menswear, there's women's wear, or they don't even call it women's wear, but it'll be like swimwear and evening wear, which is usually like gowns or swimwears, just swimwear and stuff. But then there's menswear, and then there's children's wear even, and avant-garde, which is people get more kind of crazy in those types of like in those types of categories. The avant-garde people can get like really wild with the design, but usually the other categories they're looking for really well made, proper sewing, and like decent patterns, like stuff that works. You don't have to be like some design savant, some genius in order to have your stuff walk, but you definitely have to be punctual. You definitely have to turn it in on time, and you have to like really try to be on the edge of your capabilities, because if they just think you're just turning in some whatever design, something basic, they're gonna be like, well, what the fuck is this? So it's something to think about. It's an incredible. I don't want to be like mean about this, but it's like it's a time vacuum. Like so much of your time will be dedicated to either developing your understanding of like all the stuff relating to these classes, in and outside of school. And for some people, that means that they can manage having a job. For some people, it means that they're going to have to do this shit full time. So whatever you're capable of doing within your means, try to do what you can. Give yourself some grace. There's a lot of skills that you're going to be learning, and it's stuff that's completely new. Be patient with yourself, Plenty of the teachers that teach here have attended this school, and so they know what it's like. In the same way, or in the same vein, that means, don't bullshit people. Be honest. If you're having a hard time in class, talk about it. Let them know how you're doing. Don't give them excuses. They just want to know that you're just trying your best and being really genuine about it. and turning in stuff on time is really important. My time management has not been good at the school, but I feel like I'm learning a lot, and I'm trying to really appreciate like the teachers and everything that they're doing for me. And sometimes I wasn't able to really pay respect in the way I wanted to, showing up late, different things like that. But I'm trying my best, and I really want to do better. But I want to tell you kind of a little bit of my story, just details about it. That way you can kind of go into it understanding like how much work it really is. It is so much work. It's not even funny. Like sometimes you might be sewing into the night, depending on whether you take these things, like if you understand these things at a slower pace. That might be the case. It might be better for you to take the fashion tech program. But yeah, I mean, either way you slice it, you're going to learn a lot of skills. This fashion design program, whether it's the technology, some of the other ones, there's even merchandising, which I have here. I don't know too much about it, but I heard there's also really good teachers for it too, which thankfully, I get to advocate for that too, from what I've seen. And there's Rate Your Professor and other things. I've looked at it a little bit, but everyone usually gets really good marks because there are honestly a lot of really great teachers here. So I don't think you should be worried at all. I was telling someone about trade tech online, and they were looking at me like I was pond scum, like I was a joke. They're like, "Oh, it's a technical college," blah blah blah, like laughing emoji, being like a complete prick about it. I'm not gonna throw someone under the bus. I'm not gonna say no names, but it was kind of mean. Like it was kind of disrespectful, and seeing the amount of work that people put into here and put into the designs and the stuff that they do at this school and the stuff that the teachers are teaching you and the amount of heart everyone has, and like I felt so offended. I felt disgusted, but then I thought, like fuck it, we're on top. Los Angeles is like one of, if not the biggest capital in America or the United States for domestic apparel production. There's some stuff that comes from some of your favorite brands that you might be peeping on Grailed, and they make stuff in LA, whether that's denim or other things. They make some of this shit in LA. So if you live here, there's no reason why you shouldn't be going to the school. Like, it's not even funny. The school's been around here for so long. And some people, I don't know if I've said this already, but if I did, I just want to reiterate. Some of the people that have worked at this school have been taught by Helen Armstrong. She's like the author of like one of the Bibles to people who make clothes. Like she made that the blue pattern making book that a lot of people swear by, whether that's because they had to teach themselves or whether it was a resource for them when they had nothing else to turn to and they had to learn how to make like a certain sleeve or how to do a certain thing when their back was against the wall. And getting as close to the source, talking to people that are more wise, that have an incredible amount of wisdom and experience and understanding of how the sausage is made, how the stuff really gets done, is so important that it just like it sometimes it makes you think like the other stuff doesn't really matter. Like, and there's been like that TikTok sound of like Rick Owens saying, "Oh, don't learn how to draw clothes or learn how to make clothes." Blah blah blah. He says his thing and it repeats like a billion times. You'll see it all across a bunch of different videos. Rick Owens has gone to the school, and I think he didn't drop out, but he just stopped attending or something. He went to another school. I don't think it's indicative of the school being bad. I think it was probably a personal choice, but I don't know. That's like, so I'd have to read an interview for that. But what I understand is when it comes to like design and your vision, all that is really like that's stuff that you know already. Learning how to actually execute and how to actually put that into practice and how to actually translate it, that's all the stuff that you're going to learn here, and that's the stuff that you should be learning anyways. So whether that means like you go into it having good taste already, okay, cool. Now you're gonna be able to like apply all of the construction side of it and actually make what you want to make, and it's gonna look amazing. It's gonna look epic. It's gonna look sick. It's gonna be beautiful. And or even if you go into it not being super into design, but you want to make sure that you can like back yourself up with amazing skills that you can bring into, you know, different careers. You know, there's costuming in Hollywood. You can work for like a theater company if you love theater and like musical and performing arts and all those kinds of things. You could work in like the textiles industry if you want to take a little bit here, carry some little fashion knowledge with you, and then go somewhere else to learn more about textiles. There's a lot of different ways to kind of take different avenues. I mean, I think of it as like Hollywood, you know? Some people, they think they want to go into Hollywood becoming like an actor, and then they learn that they really love, you know, shooting film or being behind the camera. So it's really up to you. But it's a lot of work, and it should be something that you give yourself at least a year for to really try it out. To just really try your best and to just really push yourself and be on like the edge of your capabilities and what you're able to do. And you're gonna suffer a little bit, you know, but it should not be easy because you should want to do it because you believe in it, even though it's hard. Yeah, definitely, definitely without a doubt. Time management is super important. Taking notes, taking good notes, being punctual, being respectful, asking tons of questions, doing your research in and out of school, going to the fashion district, learning how to haggle, learning how to bargain, threatening to burn fake silk if they try to sell you fake silk. You know, not in a threatening way, just like, you know, can I get a swatch so I could test it? Stuff like that. These are the kinds of things you want to learn. You know, and even if you're someone that wants to build their own brand, I know a lot of guys want to do that. A lot of ladies too. But some people, you know, they have different dreams. You know, they want to work in different areas. But at least when it comes to like building a brand, I mean, if you're in here and you come out the gate swinging, you can jump into, you know, a factory, learn tons of skills there. If you go in with good habits and they see that you know how to cut fabric right, or you know how to make a decent pattern, might look a little sloppy, but it's a decent pattern. Might be like, okay, this kid knows a little bit of what he's talking about, and you know, let's put him on the workforce. Let's show him how it's done. Then you get some skills there, and then boom, you know, like in a decade or less, depending on how motivated you are to like really, you know, grind and like learn this stuff. I mean, you could probably, you know, be developing your own brand, like, you know, developing your own styles. Think about working somewhere else that pushes you even more. You know, it just depends. I'm not going to tell you that you go to the school and you're guaranteed a job at fucking Rick Owens. You know what I'm saying? But you're definitely going to walk away with the foundation of like how clothes are made. And there's even couture sewing classes, so you can learn how like really elegant stuff is made. Like, let's say you want to leave this place and learn how to make wedding dresses. Shout out Firme Atelier. Shout out other people in LA that do tailoring and this like fine work that doesn't get appreciated because, you know, it's not center stage in like Paris. Like, there's plenty of people that make amazing, beautiful things. Even if you see it as like only on a technical level beautiful, aesthetically maybe you don't like it, whatever that is, even then it's like, bro, fuck you, like this is so much work. So you should have respect for anybody, honestly, that goes for this, and you should be motivated to do this because it's worth it, even if it's hard. I know a couple people that even go to the school that are from other countries, and they have a lot of doubts. You know, they'll ask me a lot of questions. Shout out Gary, the homie. Asked me a lot of questions coming into coming into the program, and I'm like, dude, you got to look no further. You're in like one of the best places, probably in the country, if not the world, to like learn fashion. There's so much you can learn here. I mean, you see the stuff that's walking down the catwalk right now, and I'm just proud of everybody. I'm just proud of everybody because they're really, like, when you see it and it's undeniable, like, you know that person has just put their all into it. And yeah, it really depends on you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what else you would want to know. I'm going to be talking to people in the comments. If anybody has any questions, video ideas, whatever, you just want to say thanks or what's up, or you want to ask anything, let me know in the comments. I'd love to make more videos. I'd be so down for this. And yeah, trade tech forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys keep killing it. I hope these guys in that fancy new building, they just make gold. They just make stuff that's undeniable and amazing. Because the teachers here are great. So thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed this. Hopefully informative, hopefully inspiring video. So yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.